All right, I got something I want you to think about. If you are roughly 40 years old, you have lived 14,600 days. Think about that. That's a lot of days, right? If I asked you to recall them one by one, thousands of them would just run together, kind of like the elevator music of your life. The same would be true for most of the people you have encountered along the way. But there would be certain days and people that would stand out from all the rest. Would you agree? Yeah. Some in a good way, some in a bad way. It's those key days and those key people that can really change and, in fact, define our lives. Robin, for example. Now, because this show is normally about other people and not me, you don't often get a chance to spend time with my key people, but today is a rare exception. Because a truly pivotal person that transformed my entire life is here. Please make welcome my dear friend, Oprah Winfrey.
That's a welcome.
Well,
I feel the same way. I feel the same way about you. Thank you. Thank you.
You suppose I could have you on every Tuesday?
Tuesdays. So in the beginning, when Phil would come on, we decided that he would come on the shows on Tuesdays. And I love Tuesdays. Remember I used to say, I'm so glad you're here. I can leave my brain at home. It was fantastic. How y'all doing? It's so cool. I feel like I raised this dude. And let me just tell you, I had a moment driving in and seeing your big face on the side of the Paramount wall. I must say, wow. 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 And it all started because I was going through a hard time.
Yeah, in Amarillo. Can you believe that?
Yeah, because I was being tried for saying something bad about a burger. And I couldn't believe it was happening to me. And every day, I can't believe this is happening to me. And Phil said, girl, no, you said, gal, they're going to hand you your...
ass on a platter.
Ass on a platter. It doesn't matter why, because now you're here. And I never forgot, you know, he was telling me all these Philisms before they were national Philisms.
What was it, 98?
It was 98.
And we worked for 2 years before that.
That's right.
So we've been knowing each other 20 years.
No, I was knowing, Jay was in high school.
Yeah.
He was 16 and driving his own car. I was like, wow, look at that kid driving that fancy car. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Jay, it came time for you to testify, and you said, not unless Jay's here.
Not Jay's here.
She called Jay's high school and said, I need him out of class. And the principal went to his class and said, somebody that sounded a whole lot like Oprah Winfrey just called and said they need Jay out of class.
You know what it was? Because Jay and I became friends, and I just wanted somebody to hold my hand. Because, you know, when you're going through a terrible time, anybody saying anything to you that is an act of kindness means the world. So we did that trial, and then I said to Phil, I wanted you to come on television and do for the other people what you had done for me, how you allowed me to see a deeper part of myself. But the very first time we did it, the people they did not like you.
Yeah, they were shocked.
They were shocked.
I said, you know, people are shocked. What do you think? And you said, turn up the heat.
Turn up the heat.
You didn't tell them as straight as you told me. Turn up the heat. Tell them like you told me.
Yeah.
Then next thing we know, we got season 1 done here. We had a wrap party at my house. You remember this picture?
Oh.
That was the wrap party, the first wrap party at the end of season 1. Look, Jordan was a freshman, I think. Right, Robin? He was a freshman. Look at him there.
Yeah.
Look at him now. That is Jordan now.
What happened? What happened?
Yes,
He's a
grown
rocker.
up.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so how are you handling grandparenthood?
Oh, let me tell you. I have become that guy.
Have you?
Oh, and people bring that up, and I'm like... And you know, and I send you pictures of the kids when
I know.
I know, but
Avery in London.
Okay, so here they are. Wow. So Avery in London, of course. This is Avery's little birthday, and that picture in the middle, that's my relationship with Avery.
Wow.
I mean, we have so much fun. And then there's London and Avery.
Do they call you Grandpa?
They call me Pops.
They call you Pops.
Yeah, they call me Pops.
Do you not want the title Grandpa?
No, I don't. That's just what they call me. I didn't care if they called me Hey. But they call Robin Grandma.
They call her Grandma.
Yeah.
Robin, is it okay with the Grandma title?
Oh, I started teaching them Grandma the minute they were born. Grandma. I've always
Really?
wanted Grandma.
That's precious. Look.
Yeah.
To use Robin's word, that's precious.
Yeah, this is her putting lipstick on her. And there's London. This is the day Erica and Jay took the kids to school. It was Avery's first day of kindergarten. That's Avery and London. That was her first day of kindergarten. She was smiling then, but she got a little worried later. But she did it. She got through it okay, and now she loves it. London is 1.5 years younger than Avery, but he is almost as big.
Wow. Did it soften you around the edges a little bit?
It did because of the girl. You know, I raised 2 boys, and Jay and Jordan, tennis shoes, shorts, they're good. But a little girl, it really does soften you. Don't you think, Robin?
Oh, yes, it really does.
In all the stories, you know, when you first came, you know, Phil didn't want to come to Hollywood. He didn't want to come. But it suits you well, I think.
Well, I like it out here.
You do like it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've carved out a niche.
You used to think you needed a passport to get out here, though, right?
Yeah, I really thought you needed a passport to come out here, because I was from Texas, and there's some weird...
This weekend, and I'm cleaning out my office in Chicago.
Oh, really?
Ooh, that's still a thing. I'm still letting go. I might need to call you for some counsel.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I can talk you through that, but you've changed a lot. I mean, your passion is gardening, and you've gotten into all of that, because I mean, look at this. Look at you.
I don't know if it's a passion, but I sure like it when things come out of the ground. I sure do love that. Look at my carrots. Look at that.
Look at those. This is at your house, right? Okay.
No, actually, this is in Maui, because I have a ranch in Maui. So I have an organic farm. I have a 16-acre organic farm.
Okay.
In Maui.
Okay.
Yeah. So when when they're the big ones, it's Maui. I don't get them that big up in Santa Barbara.
Well, let me see that zucchini you were holding. That's a big zucchini.
That is.
Did you grow that? That's a big zucchini.
Well, did I grow it? I picked it. Was I actually out there tilling the soil and doing that? No, but I did pick it. You can tell those were my picking clothes.
Do you know this? Do you know this cow by name?
Yeah, that's Ivory, and Ebony was right on the other side. I have a black cow and a white cow.
Yeah. And is this cow like your friend? You like talk to the cow?
I like the cow. I have cows and I have horses, and I'm living a ranch life.
Yeah. Which is hugely different from what you were doing before.
Kinda.
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
So why did you stop this?
Well, I wanted to be able to leave the ring and not be punch drunk. I did not want to still be on the air and people saying, well, she should have quit that show 3 years ago. I wanted to be able to sit in this chair, that chair, and you're in my chair. I wanted to be able to sit in the chair and be able to look people in the eye and still be completely authentic.
Had you said everything you needed to say?
Yes, and I remember being, you know, I actually do remember, you all loved all the makeover shows, right? I didn't so much. I didn't so much. And so when I started to feel like, now I'm just going through the motions of a makeover, especially. I think I must have done 200 or 300 of them. Yeah. That I thought it's time to go.
But we did some things that really mattered.
I love doing shows with you because for me, the use of television, I mean, I think the use of television and so-called celebritydom is to be used to show people the power of what can be done with the human spirit. So the only difference between you and the only difference between me is that we have a platform that speaks to more people. So to be able to use that platform in such a way that other people can change their lives. You know, that moment when the woman said, I never thought of it that way before, who'd lost her daughter. That's one of my favorite all-time life moments. And every time I did a show with you, I remember the woman standing in the audience and her husband had betrayed her and she said she didn't know if she could trust him anymore. And you said, and I use this with my girls all the time because I have all these girls in college, so I pull out Dr. Phil-isms all the time. It doesn't matter if you can trust him if you know you can trust yourself. So those moments where something gets lodged, you just now hearing that for the first time? That's big, isn't it? So I learned so much from you and so much from that show. And what I learned is when you feel inside yourself that it's time to let something go, then it's time to let it go.
It was interesting when I was looking at the series we're getting ready to talk about, you talked about having a kung fu moment over a stain on a carpet.
Oh.
And you have to tell about this because I got to see your dogs because I love dogs. I got to show everybody your dogs. You have a zoo.
I only have 5. I used to have 11.
I know, but
11's hard.
Well, look at all these dogs.
Yeah.
You have 5 dogs.
I have 5 dogs. And when Stedman's not home, they all sleep in the room with me.
Yeah.
So somebody was sick the other night. And I immediately thought, I could go, you know, like crazy hysterical here, or I could calmly remove all the dogs, take them all out of the room, and then I can get into the thing that I love doing most, stain removal. Stain removal. And I am very good at it. I'm only now sorry if I didn't know what I was going to be talking about on the Dr. Phil show. I started to take a picture of the stain, but I didn't want to be one of those people taking a picture of the stain. So the dogs were... It's too late. So I got the dogs out, and I had a kung fu spiritual moment in that, because when you are fully present with whatever you do, it can be a meditation, you know. So instead of being upset about the stain, I say, I'm going to turn this into a spiritual moment of cleaning this up. And I did. Slowly, don't get yourself overworked about it. Because when you get overworked about it, then you start rubbing and scrubbing, and you want to slowly remove all the particles, and then you get yourself your club soda, then you get your little towels and all your little tools and your enzyme cleaner, and then what do? You
dab.
You dab. What I'm proudest about is I never needed the enzyme cleaner. I never even used it because I had the patience to get it up with just the club soda.
And it's gone.
It's gone.
Now, I want to talk about this series because I binge-watched this.
You did?
I did. Now, Oprah brought us a preview of what's to come this week. Packed her bags and got the hell out of Chicago. And I'm not talking about Oprah. I'm talking about a young, up-and-coming executive who gave it all up to find meaning in her life. She's one of Oprah's favorite stories from Belief. After the break. We'll be right back.
Reshma has quit her job, said goodbye to her family, and to find what she's looking for, she's heading back to her spiritual homeland, India.
I'm here with one of the pivotal people in my life who 4 years ago changed her life when she left Chicago to start her own network. People have asked me time and again, Dr. Phil, what's the key to you being the #1 show in television? I say, well, Oprah quit. That's the key. I was number 2 for 11 years, and then she quit. Today, she shares with me Belief, her new 7-hour documentary series that explores our ongoing search to connect with something greater than ourselves. Now, one of her favorite stories features Reshma, who says she felt like something was always missing in her chaotic life. So she went to India to find a connection to herself. Take a look.
We had to go around the world
To
for us
connect.
actually connect.
I know.
Yes. But our whole series is about connecting, and one of the things that I wanted to share in this Belief series, because I know that we are a faithful country and we are faithful people, and I had seen the planet Earth years ago on
Right.
Discovery, and I wanted to be able to create for the spirit what planet Earth is for, you know, our physical world, because I fell in love with the earth watching all of those stories. And Reshma was one of those stories of somebody who, you know, there are a lot of people, you interview them, who feel disconnected from themselves, who feel like something's missing in their life, who feel like they're not completely whole. You were one of those people, and traveling to the Ganges, where there were 70 million people at one time, coming for the same spiritual experience. 40 million people in the river the same day she went in the water.
This is the biggest human event on Earth.
Yes.
Was it overwhelming to be there?
It was at times, but it was also pretty amazing because it was just a lot of love and compassion just everywhere. And it was, I felt safe. Even though it was kind of chaotic, I felt safe.
You quit your job to go on this journey, you say, to find yourself. What did your parents and friends think? They're like, are you crazy?
They thought I was nuts.
What did you find?
I found connection. I really was looking for a sense of peace and compassion and love and connection to other human beings. And through that, I found the connection to myself that I was looking for.
Would you have found it? Am I taking over? No.
No.
Okay.
No, you know,
Okay.
you architected this whole thing,
Okay,
and if you
good.
do take over, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Would you have found, and when I finished watching your story, I think, wow, it reminds me of Glinda the Good Witch when Dorothy's going up and down the yellow brick road looking for it, searching it, and then discovers it was always right there with you inside yourself. Would you have been able to discover that you've now discovered had you not gone?
I don't think that everybody needs to quit their job and travel halfway across the world to have that experience. That was what I needed.
All right, coming up, a couple's love is tested after a horrific car accident. They teach us what unconditional love really means. We'll be right back. Joining us from their home today via satellite. So, hello.
Hi, Oprah. Hi, Dr. Phil.
Hi.
You hear about love stories, but this is a love story.
Is a love story.
No question about it. So, Ian, tell us how you're doing today.
He said, I'm doing really well, Dr. Phil.
Wow.
Well, great. So, Larissa, you guys were only together for 10 months, but you say you really knew how much he loved you, and you guys planned to get married, and you knew that when this accident happened, right?
Yeah, we talked about it a lot, probably to the point where several times I was like, let's just stop talking about this because I want something to be a surprise. But that ended up being so helpful after his accident because I didn't really have to question what his commitment was to me.
A lot of couples, once they've said the vows through sickness and health, for better or for worse, you stay because you've said the vow. You hadn't given the vows yet, and yet you still stayed. Was there ever a moment, though, when either you or someone in your family was like, think about this differently? You don't have to marry him?
I didn't want to make any decisions one way or the other before Ian could talk. And it was about 2 years after his accident before he could talk again. And it just didn't feel fair for me to leave our relationship before we could talk about it. And I honestly didn't even want to. And Ian, as soon as you had your voice again, and even before he had his voice, I held his heart rate monitor record, which was just one sign that we kept having that he knew who I was and that I was, unique to him. And I mean, we definitely had people who are closest to us making sure that we weren't making the decision out of maybe guilt or pressure.
What role does your faith play in your relationship?
The leading role.
Yeah.
Ian says it's the leading role.
Okay, I'm going to cry with that. That's amazing. Thank you both.
A father and his daughter reconnect and heal after unimaginable personal loss. We're going to talk to them right after the break.
You think when death happens, everybody's going to come together? No. Some families disintegrate.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
You have no self-respect.
I have a high self-esteem.
You won't believe what this team does for attention.
You said, I like to be manhandled.
He hit me, and I liked it.
That's tomorrow.
Didn't I tell you,
Yeah.
I absolutely love this story. You've been married for 22 years,
That's correct.
and you lost your wife, and then you lost your sister in a plane crash. But I thought it was really interesting that you both talked to Kendra on her last day.
I hadn't heard from her all summer because she was in Kathmandu doing this volunteer project in an orphanage. And I had the really, really long talk with her, and being able to tell her how proud I was of her and how much I loved her, in a lot of ways, looking back on it, it was a goodbye. Obviously, I didn't know that at the time.
And you spoke to her as well?
Yeah, the synchronicity of all that, the possibility of all that happening, you just realize there's bigger things going on. Because we said goodbye to her. Now, when we got together after she passed, that was the first thing we both acknowledged. We were saying goodbye to her in that conversation.
What did you hope would happen at Burning Man?
The thing about Burning Man, which is a hedonistic cabal, but there's also a big spiritual element. And they burn the man on Saturday night, and on Sunday night they burn a temple. You have this transformation, you have this catharsis. And then, you know, we were able to heal and become close again.
And did you feel the closeness that your father did at that time?
We were having a really hard time relating to each other, just going through our grief separately. And this is a journey that we could finally take together, separate but together.
My great hope was to create a series that would be Planet Spirit for our planet, so that we would be able to see what our own faith is, how our own faith is represented, but also to see what people of the world believe and how that connects us as one.
Belief premieres this Sunday, October 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central on OWN. It's airing over 7 consecutive nights. So, Oprah, thank you for bringing us these incredible stories today. I mean, really.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. Thank you. Thank you for letting me come on your show. Let me come on your show.
Who would have ever thought? I mean, seriously.
Look at this. Come on.
Yeah, come on. If somebody had said back in 1996, when we first started working, that someday you're going to be a guest on my show.
Talking about something that really is like my heart's project, and that you would allow us the hour to talk about it. It's so fantastic. I must say, I've done good raising you.
Yes, you did. All right.
Thank you.
Coming up, a year after her best friend accidentally ran over and killed her toddler daughter, she says she forgives her friend but feels tremendous guilt. She's going to tell us about that next and ask for some help. So we'll talk to her after the break. Help me say goodbye to Oprah.
Bye.
I ran out of my car and I started doing CPR. I ran upstairs to wake up my husband. I was covered in blood and all I could say was, Rowan, like, you just have to save her.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
You are going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click on Be in the Audience.
Or you can call 323-461-PHIL. Bryn and Cassie have known each other for years. They would take turns picking up each other's children and taking them to school. About a year ago, it was Cassie's turn to take the children to school. Little did they know what was going to happen next would change their lives forever.
September 16th was my son's third day of preschool. My friend Cassie and I had started to carpool. She had arranged prior to pick Wyatt up in the morning for school.
We pulled into the driveway and I saw Bryn come out the front.
I have a big circular driveway, so me and Wyatt walked down my sidewalk towards the car. He was very nervous of going. He was crying, and I realized I had forgotten his booster seat.
She came back out, but this time she just left the front door open.
The door must have not latched.
I saw little Rowan come out the front door, and she came out to kind of by where I was standing. We were probably like 4 feet behind my car.
I put Wyatt in the car, and little did I know, Rowan had gotten out of the house.
I pulled forward very slowly. I felt my right back tire go over something. I looked down and I saw Rowan in the gravel.
I saw her little body in my driveway, and I ran over and scooped her up.
I ran out of my car and I started doing CPR.
I ran upstairs to wake up my husband. I was covered in blood, and all I could say was, Rowan, like, you just have to save her. I was just begging for a miracle for somebody to save my baby. Paramedics and fire department got there. It seemed like a long time before somebody came over and told me that my daughter wasn't gonna live, that she was gone. And in that instant, I just wanted to die.
Well, their tragic story made headlines, of course. Bryn says she could never blame her friend, but says she does blame herself.
I never blamed Cassie. I blamed myself.
Even though Bryn has never blamed me, I will always carry blame for myself. I wished I would have picked Rowan up before I got in my car.
It's not a good feeling to know that my daughter passed under my care. So yeah, I blame myself.
As I said earlier, you certainly won't hear me say I know how you feel, because I cannot even imagine. Take me through that moment when you realized what had happened. What does that do to you, to your heart, to your spirit, to your mind?
You go through so many different emotions and feelings, and I don't even think it's all at once because you can't comprehend what really just happened right away. It flips your life upside down. I didn't have a desire to live after you hear those words that your daughter's not gonna live. Your daughter's gone.
Did you realize what had happened? Did you realize that she had run out of the house and gotten out there, or was it confusing to you? Did you...
I was so confused. It just happened so quickly.
And you felt the car pass over something, right?
Yeah. And then I think both of us saw at the same time Rowan in the gravel.
Was there any chance to save her at all? Or...
I ran over immediately and scooped her up off the ground. And as soon as I held her, I knew she wasn't breathing and she wasn't alive.
In the confusion of emotions, the cauldron of emotions that happens after something like this, has there been a time that you have blamed Cassie?
No, never.
Not even once?
No.
And how about you? Have you blamed yourself?
Oh, yeah.
What do you say to yourself about that? What do you say that blames you?
It's just like I was driving the car. I mean, I'll always carry that with me. I definitely blame myself, and I think I just probably always will. It's just part of my life now. It's who I am.
Do you have a strategy for dealing with this at this point?
Cassie and I starting our charity together has really been a huge healing for me, for both of us, I know, because I'm helping other families that are dealing with the same type issues, because I know how painful it is.
What's the biggest question that you have in your mind?
If I would have made different decisions, would she still be here today?
Well, coming up, Bryn says she's excited for her new baby girl due in less than a month. but is very afraid of one thing, and she'll tell us what that is after the break.
Now that I'm 8 months pregnant, I have a lot of fears with this new baby coming. It's another girl, which we're so thankful for, but at the same time, I don't want to let her out of my sight.
Need to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. You have a baby girl on the way, a month. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're excited.
Yes, very.
It's a wonderful thing. What's your fear?
One, I don't want Rowan to ever feel like I've replaced her. Two, I don't want the new baby to always be just living in her bigger sister's shadow. Three, I don't want to be that parent that this affects, you know, my new baby's life forever, but I'm scared.
Grief is a very personal thing. People move through it at different paces. I've said it a million times. The depth and breadth and longevity of your grief are not a reflection of how much you cared about the person. That's just not true. What should your goal be? That when you see that picture, it's joy. Now, can you get there this moment? No, you've got healing to do. But that's your goal. I want to get to the point that when I see her, I can celebrate every day of her life instead of grieve the moment of her death. That's got to be your goal, right? And if you don't heal, then you'll play the game with sweaty palms, and she will pay the price. Then you become the helicopter mom, and you will smother her, and she'll say, "What's the deal?" I want to introduce you guys to Miles Adcox right here. He's the CEO of Onsite. Onsite is a worldwide leader in intensive workshops that deal with people that go through emotional trauma. And I think there may be a time for you guys that you want to call a timeout and go spend some time just for yourselves to kind of hit that reset button and get yourselves focused on the future. So I asked Miles to come here and talk with you guys after the show, because I would like to make a gift to y'all of going there and spending some time on just the two of y'all. So Miles, you'll talk to them after the show, right?
Absolutely. We're here for you 100%.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for being here. I want to thank all of my guests today for sharing their incredible stories with us. A special thanks to Miles and Onsite, and a very special thanks to my good friend Oprah. Remember to make sure and watch Belief. It premieres this Sunday, October 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central on OWN. For more about today's show and information on Cassie and Bryn's charity called Raise for Rowan, go to drphil.com. We're going to have a link right there because we sure support it. Thanks for being here. So long.